This is a fluid head for a tripod, typically used for video recording. It's the EH12 model by ULANZI, and it includes the F38 quick release system. So MSRP on this is $70. I received it for free to review. They haven't paid me for my review, and so my opinions remain my own. Alright, so in the packaging you get the fluid head itself, the control arm, and this little screw on here, along with the user's and instruction manual, assembly manual. Okay, this is the fluid head itself. So to release the quick release plate, there's this button. You push the button in and it slides out. It only comes out one direction. There's these two screw heads here that will keep it from going out the front. They have the locking lever here for your up and down, and the only thing that you have to do when you receive it is install this handle here. And you can see there's nice little kind of grooved notches here that this guy fits into, and so you can put it on the back upside down, or you can put it on this way, right side up. And so essentially they include this little guy here that goes through there, and you can adjust the exact angle of the handle, so you can move it to be up or down more, whichever angle you have when you tighten this guy in place is what it's going to stick to, because those grooves latch to each other. So once you put that in place, then this is the up and down. If you want to do panorama left to right, you loosen this guy, it will move back and forth on the base. There is a bubble level here, and there is also right down here, you loosen this guy up and there's a ball base so that you can put this on your tripod, and then you can level the head as opposed to leveling your entire tripod. Once you get it level, you lock this guy in place. So it's a pretty typical fluid head, most of the typical features you'd have. This locking guy here can flip up, so you pull it out and flip up. When it's flipped up, you cannot release it, it won't come off. So you have to pull out, turn down to the unlock position before you push the button to let this guy out. Now this guy here has a flathead or a hex key, and one nice feature of this is they do include a little hex Allen wrench right in here, and it's held in by a magnet, so you can use that to tighten or loosen this guy. So I'm going to take off the little plastic protective cover. It's a standard 1/4 by 20 connector there. Now there's also another 1/4 by 20 hole on this guy for accessories. So on the side right here there's a 1/4 by 20 hole, so you could conceptually put some type of accessory mount on the side here. Maybe it's a shotgun microphone, I don't know what you'd have exactly, but if you wanted to mount something there, you could. It might interfere with this lock depending on how big it is, so you might want to have this guy set to where you want it before you screw something in there, but there is that option there. So it has on the base by default, it's a 1/4 by 20, but it's a bushing that's in a 3/8. And so if you have a 3/8 tripod, you can use a screwdriver or this provided wrench, maybe. I think you might need a flathead screwdriver. Let me see if there's a way for this wrench to grab that. No, the wrench won't grab it. So you'll need a flathead screwdriver to back that out, but you could use this on a 3/8 inch tripod head. I have a 1/4 inch tripod head, so I'm going to be using it with that. Now this is well made, it's nicely machined, but it's still relatively small. And the ratings say 6.6 pounds or 3 kilograms is the max weight on this guy. So just my first impressions here is that everything moves really smoothly. I don't have any noise happening while it's moving. You lock these things down, it just gets harder. You lock it farther and then you can't move it anymore. So these guys are really nice feeling for smoothly panning and tilting. So I've been pretty impressed with that so far. The little ball rotating leveler here is very nice. Feels really good as it goes through. So I'm pretty impressed with this as it is. This tripod has a 1/4 by 20 mount right here, and we're just going to thread this guy on it. So this tripod's probably a little larger than you really need to support this particular fluid head, which is a 6 pound weight limit on it. So I'm going to be using this essentially telescope far zoom lens on this guy. This whole package weighs in right at 5 pounds, so it's under the 6 pound weight limit, but it's definitely up near the higher end of the 6 pound weight limit. So the quick release plate has this standard 1/4x20 bolt in it. It does not have any positioning pins or anything like that, so normally you might have a positioning pin in one of these holes and the actual 1/4x20 in the other, but it is just going to be held on and prevented from rotating by this little rubber pads here, and of course this guy has some cork on it as well. So I do definitely appreciate having this Allen key included with it and kind of integrated with it, because it's kind of an expensive lens and camera system, and you want to make sure that quick release plate is really on there well. And in the same way, once I have this guy locked in there, I am definitely taking this locking connector and moving that to the locked position, so I'm sure that won't come out. So I have this balanced pretty well. It's just a little bit back heavy. So, when I get this positioned, I can tighten this down just slightly and it holds just fine. If I want to be shooting something with it, I can move like that. And that is very smooth operation. I'm going to be very happy with that, I think. I think that's going to work exceptionally well for this particular setup. So technically, there's a SpaceX launch scheduled, and if I'm lucky, they'll actually go off, and if I'm really lucky, I'll actually get some good video of it to share with you. We'll see if that happens or not tonight. Now, demonstrating the leveling thing down here, currently it's tilted back, it's not leveled, and the level kind of shows that. So if I change this, I can twist this around and basically move that around until the bubble is centered in the little red circle. I'm sure it would be easier to see without my camera on top there. But then when I lock that in place, now this guy here is working on a level surface. So just as an example of the fluid head here, we have a very long lens on the camera. And there's a little bit of jerking around, but I'm able to move this guy around without it vibrating too badly. We're going to try tracking this water skier out here and see how well my fluid head pans left to right. So this guy worked really well for capturing the launch. Obviously it's still shaky because I'm doing this by hand with a 400mm lens, but you can see here, even when I zoom in 3x, I'm able to keep this spaceship pretty close to the center of my video frame here. I even captured a bonus airplane flying under the path of the spaceship. So there you can see the bonus airplane flying from left to right. So I'm pretty pleased with how this guy's worked out. It worked really well for me to capture moving objects, and I think you'll be pretty happy with it.